and hello, welcome back to Series 2 Fade to Black. We'll get straight down to it. We've got about 3-4 minutes of history to be told by the local historian of the hotel. I'm joined by Mark.
Hi.
And I'm Craig, so what we'll do is we'll hand you straight back over to it now, and we'll see you in a few seconds.
An idea, I suppose, of its age coming up the drive if you haven't referenced it and thought, well, okay, I can see an old house, I'm guesstimating a certain age. Some of you maybe even spotted a date stamped on the building around the back here. Well, if I say that this place probably exceeds what you're thinking in terms of its antiquity, and I'll give you a ballpark figure of how old it approximately is. If you pick up a reference book or check it out, then they start talking about this location from the 5th century onwards, so 454 AD. It's a site that is obviously a cliff next to a river here, a site that has always had hollows in the rock here, so there's been caverns from the day dot. People have come here, they've used them, they've utilised the springs on the site, and those springs still issue forth water. Now, way back before the Christian faith comes in, this is going to be revered in a lot of aspects, because where water came out of the ground as a gift from the gods, hollows in the rock, same thing, an association. So there's been early forms of, if you like, paganistic rites on the location. It has probably always been seen as a sort of mystical place. And sure, our ancestors probably had a little bit more, or probably a little bit more wise in that respect, knew of this. And it's still a site that's got this air of mystery about it. Funny things happen, not only at this site, but around abouts as well. Which is why I'm going to sort of give you an idea of what might occur, not on the immediate grounds to begin with. We're going to go up high, and we're going to get a good look over the property. And I'll tell you maybe one or two things that occur around here, not just, like I say, in this particular location. Obviously you're in a chapel. This is the second chapel on the site. The first one probably come into being around about 500, 600 or so, and then it's simply rebuilt as this. Becomes a much bigger building. It wasn't known as Guy's Cliff to begin with, it was a place called Gib Cliff. It only adopts the name Guy's Cliff after Guy of Warwick, whose effigy you can see in it. So that's who the big tall statue is over there, or at least what's left of it over there, and supposedly that's as big as he was in life. So there is this sort of tale of legend, because he was equally as well known as King Arthur once upon a time. So again, adding to the lore of, if you like, of the location itself. We've got a big combination of areas. We've got a chapel, we've got obviously domestic type of residences, we've got caves, and indeed we've got various areas out the back, tunnels and so forth and so forth. So it's a real mishmash of localities, if you like, within a building, different types of dwellings and so forth, and its history kind of reflects that as well, because, like I say, it's starting off on the spiritual side, then becomes a place of domestic residence later on. We not only the house you see out there before, but a house preceding that, so it's a building on top of a building. It kind of apes Woodchester in terms of building in that respect. All these things left a stain, if you like, a mark, and quite often, you know, they're repeated. It's it's an area that I would say has a good level of activity. It is obviously just as prone as any other location to proclaim itself haunted. It can happen on the night, so but equally so, we might not get anything. But I'm sure the team will back me up on this. If you put in, you usually get out. Yeah. So. Without further ado, I think we'll set ourselves up for a wander around the property. Now we're going to go in a mixture of places inside and out, so you've got your jacket on, keep it on and so forth, yes, put one on. Bring your torches, because obviously where we're going is dark and what have you. We've got quite a long walk around. We're going to cover almost every area we possibly can. We're not going to go into every last room because of the size of the group, so there are other bits that you'll come across when you're doing your vigiling as well.
Right, welcome back. That was a short introduction by the historian on site. The place is a large location, which we're there with Neil. there was about, I can't remember how many members are actually on site, but there was 4 team members, and we split into 3 teams.
Yeah.
But first of all, we went to what was like the main church area,
Yeah.
and we joined Natalie. So what I'll do is I'll run that VT for you, and I'll also run the VT for everybody else, and we'll get back to it and see how we thought about it.
Yeah.
There's movement up there, but as soon as someone goes up there,
I was going to say. Okay, well that was interesting. 3 thugs then. There's nobody upstairs at all.
I was going to say, if I pass him camera, I'll have a run upstairs just to check.
You'd have to go that way.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, there's one group's in the coach house, and Elaine's group is in the Undercroft, and Stu's obviously gone into the house. So we've got this whole bit.
So we've got nothing contaminating this
No.
building, this quarter.
No.
Okay. Can you take that?
Okay, if there is somebody here, if that was you trying to let us know you're here, with respect, can I ask you to try and do that again for me? That's just flash blue, that red thing. Flashing blue. Okay, if there is a spirit here with us, and if you are affecting that blue light on that red, strange object we brought with us, can I ask that you step away from it just for a moment, please, and make it stop? Or indeed, if you're intrigued by the colours, can you step towards the red light and try and make the colours on the top light up? All it's picking up is your energy. If you're a strong spirit, you can show us how powerful you are with your energy by making the lights go off. Can you try and bang on that table where the red light is? Go and sit next to one of us and make us feel cold. Do we have any religious personnel here? It's interesting, you can't hear Craig upstairs anyway, can you?
No, not at all.
So that was a definite thud.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm not going to ask any questions. I'm going to count to 3, and I'm just going to record just to see what a base recording on this is going to be. So 1, 2, 3. Nothing. Okay. So this is where I said sometimes when you play it back it's not clear, but there's something on it, and this will play back with nothing if there isn't. Okay. If there is a spirit here, if you're trying to communicate with your voice, can I please, with respect, ask that you try and talk... Gone blue again on there. That you come and try and talk to me directly. I need you to try and focus your voice as best that you can. I'm going to count to 3. And can you try in some way to use your voice to let me know that you're here? You can either just make a noise with your voice, like a shout, a whistle, or maybe a hum. Or if you want to try and talk to me and give me facts, can you try and give me your name? Or maybe why you are here. Whatever you wish to say, I'm going to count to 3, and I want you to focus your energy and try and come forward with your voice, please, Spirit. 1, 2, 3. Anything? We couldn't hear you. Did you go straight up into that room?
I went straight up. What, the noise just then? Oh,
No, when we first heard it, thud. But we heard you go up the stairs and then no noise after that.
Right, well, the noise you hear is this first floor.
Yeah.
The second floor, you can step around, there's no noise at all.
No.
There was noise around the clock tower earlier, I didn't know if it had anything to do with cogworks or anything.
Well, we say it's just gone off, hasn't it? So maybe it's some sort of...
Right. But otherwise, there's...
Oh, hello. Okay, so that's telling us it's dropped by 5 degrees, which is a fair drop. There's no reason for it to have done that. If there is a spirit here, can I please, with respect, ask that you try and show yourself in the form of your energy? Can you try and step back towards that red light for me, please? And next to the red light is the book. Can you try and tap the book? Or try and touch or tap the table? Can you hear that? Do you want to come a bit closer? Because I'd like you to... I'll play it a few times because you'll need to get used to how it sounds. And I think I've got an idea of what it's saying. There's nothing on this first bit. So it's like a U, and almost like a get out of there or get out there. What do you think, Craig? Did you got it on both? These play back slightly different sensitivity levels, but that sounds similar.
Same tone, same timing.
Yeah.
What's the last bit?
I don't know. Is it get out
Get
of
down.
here?
Could be get down.
Get down.
That last bit needs a real bit.
It does, yeah.
Have you got any headphones anyway? Does it plug into headphones?
No.
No.
Does it actually? No, it doesn't. No.
Right, so there were 2 EVPs there. Well, initially we had to get the headphones out for the second one, but I've never seen that happen on 2 devices before, especially running at the same time because they record white noise. What were you actually hearing? Because you weren't there, so basically you could have an opportunity of maybe hearing something else.
I heard something, but I couldn't distinguish what it was.
Right.
Definitely an unexplainable noise. No.
So what were your feeling? Because it were 2 devices rather than 1.
I just think that makes it much more. That there's definitely something there rather than.
Yeah, well, it's like as we say for the public watching right now, it's we all make our own decisions on what actually happened.
We do.
I was there on site, Mark wasn't, and that's why we do this a few days or a few weeks later. So what we'll do now is we'll now hand you back over where we joined teammate Stuart, and we'll run that VT also. So we'll crack on. Yep.
Yeah.
No. What we're going to do is put this down. Do you want to put it on the floor for me?
Yeah.
Down that chair?
Well, just as it's a step.
Yeah, just in front of the steps. Hopefully that will get anybody coming and going. No, shut up. The Care Bears again.
Oh.
Rem pod in there. Glowing in the dark. We've just come to try and find out a little bit more about you. Find out what your story is. So we've got some lights around the room that can help us communicate with you. They can't hurt you. But if you move towards any of them, your energy can make them change colour in most cases. Some of the bears we've got will light up differently. They won't hurt you. You can communicate by maybe touching somebody in the group, apart from the ones that don't want to be. Treat them with respect like we're treating you. Give us a sign. Try and show yourself to us. How are you in the corner?
Still feeling a bit uneasy, claustrophobic.
Do you normally feel claustrophobic?
No,
No.
no.
That's interesting. If you don't normally feel. I'm sure I'm going to fall down this step in a minute. What we'll do is we'll try an EVP, see if we can get anything on that. See if there's enough energy about to do that.
I can say you've got no noise pollution down here, so you're okay.
Yeah, nothing is there.
Which I'm surprised about with the tunnel. You think it'd increase it.
Yeah, there's very little noise down there, you think? Right. If there's a spirit down here with us, if you'd like to communicate with us, speak to us, I've got a silver box in my hand. It can record my voice and your voice, but it can't hurt either of us. So after 3, if you come and speak into it as loudly and as clearly as you can. So after 3 for me. 1, 2, 3. Just play that back. Sounds like a lot of chatter, and also this did sound like something there, but play it again.
It's like go away.
No, that sounded like it was counting on. Do you know when you went 1, 2, 3? It was almost like a 3. 4. afterwards.
Like they were copying me.
Yeah, like carrying it on.
Yeah, can see where you. Yeah.
As I say, I'm no good with EVPs, but that's what
No,
I'm not a specialist at all with them.
Try it again.
Oh God, you pricked me that you were there, didn't That's horrible.
Just behind you.
Huh?
Right. Okay, so another short bit. The place we went to Stuart we went to the wine cellar, which was actually underneath the main drive. A few more EVPs in there. We actually got introduced to the EVP bears. Not just them, but also motion detector bears. They're like Care Bears all over again. I was going to say, let's bring that series back out. Come on. And but we started off in the stable first, where we tried out the things, but unfortunately temperature drops because like archways and gaps and stuff.
Yeah.
So didn't really get much out of that. I did get a dead battery though. A brand new battery went in. It died straight away, but I didn't show that footage because I didn't see the need to. So we relocated to the wine cellar and did a few more experiments, and we did the pendulum, where we had a gentleman get in there who was quite sceptic, but he was getting pushed around quite a little bit, which questions was asked. I mentioned that could it be anything to do with what was the phrase? Basically, when another member of the family had taken someone else and they had a child. It's like incest, basically. Which we're sort of getting responses back on the EVP and also motion through the person. But after that, we sort of joined Justin and we went down to the lower half of the building.
Yeah.
And we started doing the Ouija board. But nothing really came of that, unfortunately. So we decided when it came to the end of the night. But once again, Haunted Evenings, you've done justice. We've been with you a few times. And hopefully Mark will join us another one time.
Yeah, hopefully, definitely.
Travel down from Nottingham.
Yeah. We look
And
forward
try
to that.
meet up with the team. But we'll leave you with you. Happy hunting. And thank you very much again for watching Fade to Black.
Yeah,
And Neil will join us again soon.
Thank you,
Alright,
guys.
see you later.
See ya.